Okay, hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for our Spring 2023 University of Western States Admissions webinar. My name is Bregan and I'm the admissions advisor for our Human Nutrition and Functional Medicine program. I'm also joined today by my colleague, Georgia Goody, who will be answering your questions in our Q&A chat feature. Today's webinar will be an overview of UWS's various HNFM programs, including our Master of Science degree, Graduate Certificate program, and our Doctor of Clinical Nutrition degree. We'll go over lots of information in the following slides, but we always encourage anyone who's interested in learning more to reach out to our office for more information. Please feel free to ask questions today throughout the webinar. There should be a Q&A chat function at the bottom of your Zoom screen. We're going to cover most of the frequently asked questions at the end of our webinar today, but we will try to answer questions in the chat. If we don't get to your question, feel free to include your name in the comment and we will respond to you individually next week over the phone or email. Here's a schedule for today's webinar. We anticipate the webinar to last about 45 minutes to an hour. It will also be recorded and uploaded to the UWS website if you'd like to watch it later or for prospective students who weren't able to attend live today. The University of Western States has a long history at the forefront of health and wellness in the Pacific Northwest. In fact, with our founding in 1904 in Portland, Oregon, UWS is the second oldest chiropractic college in the world. As we grew, we integrated other areas of health into our programming and curriculum. Our Human Nutrition and Functional Medicine degree was created after we collaborated with the Institute for Functional Medicine in 2012. What started with just 33 students 11 years ago is now a program with over 400 enrolled students. We now offer a one-of-a-kind Doctor of Clinical Nutrition degree and are very excited to teach you more about that program and all of our programs today. So what makes us stand out in the world of health sciences? Our HNFM program has been named one of the best online nutrition master's degrees by bestcolleges.com. By partnering with the Institute for Functional Medicine, we've ensured that principles of functional medicine are woven into every course. Our degree is unique. We're the only regionally accredited master's degree in both nutrition and functional medicine in the world. So before I continue, I want to do just a little bit of engagement with you guys. I have some poll questions. Since we are a pretty large group today, I would love to first ask where you are located. So let me pull this up. If you can take just a second and answer that question, I'm very curious to see where you all are from today. Okay, I'll give you just a couple more seconds. Okay, perfect. I'm going to share those results with you. It looks like we are a pretty mixed bag of people today with several folks on the West Coast, several folks on the East Coast, and then kind of spread out everywhere. For those of you joining us outside the US, welcome. We're so excited to have you. I do have a couple other questions for you today before I continue. So the next question I have for you is, how did you hear about UWS? All right, give you guys just a few more seconds there to answer that. Great, looks like pretty much we're slowing down here. So it looks like most of you learned about UWS through Google, through maybe a Google search looking for different online master's degrees, looking for degrees in nutrition. So that's really good to hear. It's always good to hear that, our ads are working through Google. And then lastly, are you considering other programs or other schools in addition to UWS? All right, just a few more seconds. Looks like we're slowing down. Okay, and then I'm going to share that with you guys as well. So about 70-30, most of you are considering additional programs in addition to UWS, and some of you look like you're just looking at UWS. So there's no wrong answer here. As long as you get the education you want, that's what we want. But today we're going to be highlighting all the exciting things that makes UWS unique. So without further ado, I'm going to briefly introduce you to our HNFM program directors, starting with Dr. Chris Brown. Dr. Brown has a robust resume. He's currently serving as the director of the Human Nutrition and Functional Medicine programs at UWS, and he teaches courses in our Master of Science degree. Dr. Brown holds degrees in psychology, chiropractic medicine, and human nutrition and functional medicine. He was part of our first graduating class for our HNFM program. Dr. Brown has taught clinical nutrition and physical medicine at National University of Natural Medicine and has practiced functional medicine in a wide variety of patients. Our second co-director is Dr. Daniel Redwood. He's one of our incredible directors in our program. Dr. Redwood practiced chiropractic for over 25 years before starting his academic faculty career. He has a robust resume of presentation and lecture experience across the United States and teaches classes in our HNFM program as well. So I do have one more poll question before we move on. I would love to hear what you think is the definition of functional medicine. I have just a few options there, and then we'll share our definition of functional medicine. All right, I'll give you guys just a few more seconds, 10 seconds or so to finish that. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close that. Looks like we're slowing down here. And I want to share these results with you. So it looks like the majority of you answered that final question, finding the underlying cause of a patient's health problems. That is absolutely correct. Though treating patients using diet plans and demographic factors and providing food plans necessary for health and growth are also very important aspects of functional medicine. So I'm glad that all of us kind of align on the same page there. So our definition, essentially, of functional medicine is a comprehensive framework for evaluation and management that helps us understand the interactions among environmental, lifestyle, and genetic factors that can either produce chronic disease or promote long-term health. We're all about treating the whole person and making permanent lifestyle and diet changes to be able to heal patients. To give you a brief overview of our HNFM programs before we dive in deeply, there are 3 programs housed in our College of Graduate Studies in the HNFM department. We have a Doctor of Clinical Nutrition degree, a Master of Science degree, and a Graduate Certificate program. All degrees are 100% online, which is really exciting. Our HNFM community come from many different backgrounds. We have students from all over the world in many different phases of their careers. For some, starting our program is the first step down their path to a health and science career. For others, they've been in the healthcare field for years and are looking to add more to their practice. Our instructors are just as varied as our students, with previous experience in chiropractic, nutrition, medicine, and many other fields. Our instructors have a deep well of knowledge to pull from. We encourage strong relationships between instructors and students and continued dialogue as students explore nutrition in the scientific world through discussion, research, and lectures. So I'm going to share 2 more polls, and I won't share another one till the very end. But before we continue on, I would love to kind of hear about what degree you are most interested in of our 3 options. Give everyone just 10 more seconds or so. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close this one and share the results with you all. So it looks like the majority of folks on this call are interested in our Master of Science degree in Human Nutrition and Functional Medicine. And then second most interest is our Doctor of Clinical Nutrition. So very cool. And then we do have a handful of you looking at that graduate certificate as well. Very cool. Kind of gets me an idea of who we're speaking with today. And then my last poll for now is I'd love to hear about your background, whether that's your professional background, a little bit about your education background. What are you doing right now for work? All right, just a few more seconds before I close this poll as well. All right, looks like we've slowed down. Very cool. So it looks like the majority of folks on our webinar today are in a nursing or other type of healthcare profession. We have quite a few educators, businessmen and women, a few of you in the technology or engineering world, and then several others. So thanks for sharing with me. I love getting to know kind of who's on the call or on our webinar today. So thank you for doing that for me. So let's talk first about our Doctor of Clinical Nutrition program. The purpose of this program is to prepare doctoral level nutrition practitioners for clinical excellence and professional leadership. Our curriculum highlights clinical reasoning, patient assessment, therapeutic and wellness or preventative nutrition, and then evidence appraisal and practice success. The basic requirement for this degree is a master's degree in nutrition or human nutrition with a GPA of a 3.0. We also require at least one class in functional medicine in addition to your master's degree. If you have completed your master's degree with UWS, our degree covers everything that you need, including that functional medicine coursework. If you have a Master of Science in Nutrition from elsewhere that did not include functional medicine, there's a couple options that you can do. You can go to the Institute for Functional Medicine. They have an on-demand course at a discount for UWS students. And then we also offer a class. This is the course code MSN 6100. It's called Principles for Functional Medicine. We offer that every April and October. So if you're looking at the DCN program now and don't have that nutrition course, I would definitely apply as a non-degree student for this upcoming April term to be able to take that class with us if that's what you're interested in doing. Our DCN program is a total of 65 credits and it takes 2 years to complete. You'll be taking through 2 to 3 classes per term. Our terms are on a quarter system, not semesters, so that's a little bit different than most schools in the United States. Our quarters are 11 weeks long, so they're fairly quick-paced terms. So you'll have 11 weeks on and 2 weeks off between each quarter to have a nice vacation or staycation or whatever works best for you. You should expect to commit about 3 hours of work a week per credit working in the DCN program. The degree is 100% online. It didn't used to be. That is a new development as in the last couple of months. So it is now entirely online. Which allows us to open enrollment for citizens outside of the United States, students outside the United States. So we're very excited about that. This is just a quick glance at our curriculum and highlights of a few of the classes you'll be working on. I do want to show you, however, the full curriculum. So again, 65 total credits, a total of 4 years. So this is what classes you'll be taking on your first quarter, second quarter, and so on. And I want to show you the second half of the degree. You'll finish in a total of 8 quarters, just 2 years, 4 quarters per year. It is a year-round program. If you have questions specifically about the DCN degree, make sure you drop them in that Q&A chat and we will get to them at the end, or Georgia will be working on that chat as I'm speaking. I want to move forward now with our master's degree versus our graduate certificate program. So one of the first steps when exploring our curriculum is to identify which path in our program is best for you. Our graduate certificate option is designed for clinicians, and it takes 30 credits or about 1 year to complete. For those of you who are looking for a more substantial program or who do not have a medical or clinical background, our master's degree is designed to guide you through human nutrition and functional medicine in just 2 years in about 56 credits. Prerequisites and a bachelor's degree are required before the start of the master's degree program. So here's a list of both programs back to back. Our master's degree requires a bachelor's of any discipline. It doesn't have to be a science background, but you must have at least a 2.75 GPA. And then we require 5 very specific science classes for both degrees. For the certificate program, you must have a master's or doctoral degree in healthcare, in a healthcare field with a 3.0 GPA with the same 5 prerequisite classes. There is no time restraint on these classes. If you took them 30 years ago, that's fine, with the exception of biochemistry. We do want to see your biochemistry course within the last 8 years. However, if you're working in a medical profession or a profession where you're using biochemistry regularly in your career, there is potential for us to waive that 8-year recency requirement on your biochemistry. For students who are in need of additional prerequisites, UWS recommends local colleges or several convenient online institutions, such as the ones listed here. UWS, we offer a biochemistry elective pathway option for students who've taken general chemistry in their degree, but who still need biochemistry. So prerequisites are due 6 weeks prior to classes starting, apart from that biochemistry pathway option with UWS. So if you decide to take that with us, you do not have to complete biochemistry 6 weeks prior. If you decide to take biochemistry elsewhere, or you've never taken Gen Chem, so you're taking biochemistry somewhere else before starting, make sure to have that done 6 weeks before classes are due. That's our prerequisite deadline. The structure of the online programs are designed for busy professionals, parents, busy people in mind. Our calendar operates on a quarter system, like I mentioned earlier, all of 11 weeks. Most students take 2 to 3 classes per quarter and dedicate anywhere from 20 to 25, 28 hours of work a week toward their degree program. Our master's degree has a total of 18 classes. Takes you, again, 2 years if you're going full-time, but you have a 5-year maximum if you go part-time. The graduate certificate's 30 credits, a 3-year maximum if you go part-time with 9 classes. And same time commitment per week, about 3 hours of work a week per credit. Here you'll see a brief overview of the curriculum you can expect in our HNFM master's degree program. Students begin with foundational courses in nutrition and functional medicine before doing a deeper dive into specific nutritional topics. As the degree progresses, you'll also have a chance to attend clinically focused courses addressing specific health topics and complete a capstone research paper. Many elective options are also available to you, including an internship option. So here's a look at the master's degree program curriculum by quarters. If you take the course sequence exactly as it's listed here on my screen, you will finish in 8 quarters, which is 2 years. In addition to these courses, you will get to choose 2 electives. We recommend starting your electives anywhere between quarters 3 and 6 or 7, but finish those first 2 quarters without an elective. They'll be plenty busy for you. So here's a look at those elective courses that you can choose from. You only need to choose 2, but if you're truly interested in taking more, you can ask the program director's approval to take additional courses or apply later after graduating as a non-degree student to take some electives here. I do want to point out that supervised nutrition mentorship class. It's MSN 8126 and 8127 on your screen. The Supervised Nutrition Mentorship elective is ideal for students looking to take the CNS or the Certified Nutrition Specialist exam after graduating. This program allows you to work with a nutrition specialist or a functional medicine practitioner in your area with director approval and receive graduate credit for your degree while simultaneously earning hours for CNS licensure. CNS requires 1,000 intern or observation mentorship hours, and with our mentorship course, students get anywhere from about 60 to about 300 hours out of the way per quarter while completing their master's degree. So that's a really exciting option if you are somebody interested in CNS, and we are going to talk more about that later. So if you're like, what is that? I'll touch on that a little bit more in just a minute. Now, our graduate certificate program is for healthcare professionals. It follows a similar progression. Though it's important to note that the graduate certificate does not offer or does not include the capstone course, nor does it offer that supervised nutrition mentorship elective option. So here's the required courses up top, and then the elective courses on the bottom for the graduate certificate. And again, unlike the master's degree, certificate students only choose 1 elective course. This is intended to be a much quicker paced option, a shorter option for students who already work in a healthcare field. So our online courses have features that invite students to learn in several ways. Students are assigned weekly readings and lectures, as well as weekly discussion forums. There, you'll use UWS's expansive library to support your discussions and exchange ideas and findings. Learning will be assessed through papers, projects, and weekly quizzes. In the 11th week of each term, students will complete their courses with a final exam. So essentially 10 weeks, and then your 11th week is finals week. One of the most frequently asked questions that Georgia and I get about the HNFM program is, are there live Zoom lectures in my degree? And the answer is no. Lectures and coursework are uploaded at the beginning of each week, and students are able to watch lectures and complete the coursework at their own pace, working to meet the deadlines within each week. So there will be deadlines. It's not 100% asynchronous where you get the coursework and you have 11 weeks to finish it. You do have deadlines every week that you'll want to keep up on, but you can watch those lectures, do the readings, papers, quizzes, exams, things like that on your own timetable. This makes our program ideal for working professionals, parents, and accommodate students in different time zones throughout the world as well. So for all current students and prospective students, UWS emphasizes the importance of becoming familiar with legislation and laws in your area regarding your future career path as a nutritionist. Our graduates pursue a variety of careers, from personalized nutrition coaching to education or health services. Many students join a functional practice, chiropractic practice, holistic healthcare type practice, or start their own practice working with patients either face-to-face, working in telehealth type settings so you can reach a broader patient base outside of your immediate area. Many choose to sit for nationally recognized licensure exams like CNS and CCN. It's important to note that only our master's degree will guarantee eligibility for CNS licensure. The graduate certificate may allow students to sit for CNS, but it will depend on that student's undergraduate and graduate coursework combined with our certificate to see if that will meet CNS requirements to sit for that exam. Our DCN degree is an opportunity for students to further expand knowledge for you and your patients. Graduates can officially call themselves doctor with our DCN degree, but it's important to note that nutrition scope of practice does not change with a DCN degree. So one of the biggest questions we are asked is, how does UWS help me? Do you help me with alumni connection? Do you help me with finding a job or job placement afterward? We have a huge, robust network of professionals from our alumni services department to supervise mentorships who can help connect you with recent graduates and current students in the UWS network. And that's a group that expands around the entire globe. So if you are looking for somebody to work with after graduating or looking for somebody to shadow, start by reaching out to your advisor. Georgia and I have alumni in most areas that we're happy to connect you with. Your professors might also be great resources for people that are looking for an intern or looking for someone to work with them after graduating. So that's always a really great resource. I want to run through a few frequently asked questions that we receive when discussing our HNFM programs with prospective students. And then I'm going to take a pause and help answer some questions in the Q&A chat because I see there's some in there. So one of the most frequently asked questions that we receive is, can I apply before completing all 5 of my science prereqs? And the answer is yes. We can conditionally admit a student once you have 3 out of 5 prereqs completed. If you have less than 3 out of 5 completed, we can still move you forward with an interview. You can still apply, but we will put your application on hold. We call it a preliminary review until you have at least 3 prereqs completed. And then once you complete all 5 prereqs, we can change your admit letter from conditional to a full admit. So the condition of your acceptance being you still need to complete a couple prereqs, to a full admit meaning there's nothing outstanding. The other biggest question we get is, my biochem class is more than 8 years old. Can I get that reconsidered? And the answer is yes. We do require a transcript showing when you took the class and the grade you received, and a resume showing what you're currently doing for work. And then we usually ask you to write a statement or so, maybe just a sentence saying how you're using biochemistry daily. A lot of our students who are working in healthcare fields like pharmacy, nurse practitioners, chiropractors, a lot of those healthcare professionals are able to get their 8-year biochemistry waiver accepted. The next most frequently asked question we get is, are there hands-on clinical experiences in your degree? And the answer is yes. We talked about our supervised nutrition mentorship option in the master's degree. There are also remote standardized patient assessment examinations in our DCN program. That used to be our in-person component, which is now remote. So you will be working with standardized patients in a remote setting to work on that clinician-patient interaction skills if you're in the DCN program. We also get asked by master's applicants, can I apply before finishing my bachelor's degree? And the answer is yes. You can be conditionally admitted to the master's program before completing your degree, as long as you have at least a 3.3 GPA. And then, of course, once you graduate, make sure you send us upgraded transcripts with your final grades so that we can determine, yes, this is your final GPA. Yes, yes, you've completed your degree. And as long as you have above a 2.75, once you actually graduate, you'll be okay. So let me open this Q&A chat and answer some of these questions before I move on. Somebody asked, is a supervised nutrition mentorship an elective? The answer is yes, that is an elective. It's not required. You are welcome to take that class or not. There's so many amazing electives to choose from, but it's very popular for students looking at our CNS program. This question, yes, we can definitely, you can apply to the master's degree with before you finish your bachelor's. That's totally fine. We just answered that one. Okay. If I take biochemistry locally or online, is the lab required? The short answer to that is no. We don't require biochemistry to have a lab. A great option is Portage Learning. They offer a fairly inexpensive biochemistry class, and they have an optional lab that you can add. It's not required. If you want to take it, it's only going to help, but we don't require a lab with the biochemistry. Somebody has asked, I've completed my bachelor's degree over 12 years ago. I have a recent master's degree in medicine. Or about to complete it. Is that acceptable? The answer to that is yes. And I need to ask you what program you're looking for. If you're looking for the master's degree, yes, it doesn't matter how old your bachelor's is. We can still accept it for this for the master's degree. If you're looking at the DCN program, that master's degree must be in nutrition very specifically. Yes, great question. So I have a question that says, I completed my bachelor's outside of the United States. Is there a way to get that translated and put the GPA on an American system? And the answer to that is also yes. You will want to go through what we call an International Credential Evaluation Service. ECE, WES, SpanTran are some excellent options. They all offer transcript evaluations where they take your grades, put them on an Americanized 4.0 scale. They also will tell us the accreditation information and your degree equivalent into the United States. So if you have more questions on that, feel free to email me. I have mine and George's contact info at the end of the presentation. And I can send you links to some of those evaluator services. You basically send your transcripts for them, they translate it, they put it all on an American scale, and then they send it to us, and we consider that your official transcript. So not a problem at all. This is an excellent question. Will I be able to practice as a licensed registered dietitian after completing the program? The answer to that is no. Our program does not allow you for licensure as an RD. It does allow you for licensure as a CNS or a CCN, but to become a dietitian, you must finish a bachelor's degree first in dietetics. There's also a new rule that dietitians must have a master's degree in dietetics. So since our degree does not include a bachelor's component, it is not eligible for RD licensure. Great question. I am going to continue on to the next slide, but Georgia will continue to answer these questions in the chat, and I will get to some of them live as well when we get to the end. I do want to talk just briefly about tuition and financial aid. All students must be enrolled in at least 5 credits per quarter and remain in good academic standing throughout the total degree in order to qualify for financial aid through FAFSA. Students who wish to apply for financial aid or a payment plan may do so through UWS's financial aid and business offices. About half of our students use a student loan to pay for the program, and the other half pay out of pocket, whether paying on the first day of the term or a payment plan, which divides up your tuition for the quarter into 3 different payments, and we do not charge interest on the payment plans. Financial aid and payment plans are available for all degrees and scholarships. We do have scholarships for online students. You can find out more about connecting with our financial aid office or heading to our financial aid website. So if you're ready to apply, our spring 23 and fall 23 applications are open now. We recommend applying about 3 to 6 months in advance to ensure you have plenty of time to finish all the prerequisite coursework prior to starting your program. If you're ready to apply to University of Western States, we highly recommend connecting with an admissions advisor for an advising call. We'll help determine whether or not UWS is the right fit for you and your goals and prepare you for enrollment in either one of our spring or fall cohorts. Submitted applications require a $50 application fee, 2 short entrance essays about your goals and your experiences. And then we do need a plan in place for any prerequisites. So if you're missing, let's say, nutrition, but you have all the other classes, we just need you to tell me or Georgia where you plan to take that final prerequisite as part of your application process. We require official transcripts from each and every institution you've attended, 2 letters of recommendation, and then an interview with either the program directors, associate director, or a member of the HNFM faculty. All interviews are on Zoom or on the phone. Admitted students can then confirm their spot in our cohort after they've been admitted to the program by submitting your tuition deposit, which will be applied to your first quarter tuition statement. So that deposit essentially holds your spot, lets us know you're coming. It allows you to register for classes and receive a FAFSA award letter. So it's very important that you submit that tuition deposit once you're ready. If you're ready to take those next steps towards your degree with UWS, we recommend exploring our website, as well as reaching out to an admissions advisor for an appointment, myself in Georgia. Most students find it helpful to reach out at least 6 months before applying, but all applications are due 2 months before the start of each term, and prerequisites are typically due 6 weeks prior. So I do want to talk about these upcoming terms. Our fall cohort. DCN program starts only once a year in the fall. The graduate certificate and the MS program start spring and fall, which is April and October. I have the spring 23 deadlines right here. I'm going to put my mouse over them. The priority application deadline is tomorrow. Now, I know that's really soon, so I put our final deadline on here. Applications must be submitted by February 10th to start this upcoming April term. The deposit deadline to hold your spot in the cohort is due February 24th. Prerequisite deadline has been bumped by 2 weeks. Our program directors just approved this for the upcoming April term. Prerequisites are now due by March 10th, and classes begin on April 10th. So if you are thinking about starting with UWS this April and you're missing like maybe one class, you still have a good 6 to 7 weeks to finish that prerequisite. So hopefully really good news. Myself and my colleague Georgia, who I keep mentioning, are the admissions advisors for HNFM programs. We have divided all of our students by last name. So if your last name is A through K, you're going to speak with Georgia. L through Z, speak with me. And then, of course, Georgia works with all of our DCN students as well. This is a great time to take a screenshot and write down our contact information so you can ask us more detailed questions later. I want to thank everybody so much for attending the webinar today. We welcome you to reach out for more information. If you are ready to become a leader in nutrition-focused, whole person approach to healthcare, we encourage you to apply. Georgia and I are going to stay on for a few more minutes to answer the outstanding questions in the Q&A chat, but we do hope to see your application soon, and we hope you have a wonderful day. I'm going to dive into that chat and start answering some questions, so you are welcome to stay if your question hasn't been answered yet. If you are good, then we hope to see your app soon. So this person is asking, I see there are scholarships for the chiropractic program and then external for other programs. Great question. So we do have online program scholarships. So you're going to have to go, there's 2 different scholarship pages. There's one for on-campus programs, which is the Doctor of Chiropractic program. Then there's one that says graduate studies or online programs. That's where the scholarships are housed for the HNFM program. If you're not able to find that link, email me and I'll make sure to send it to you. Okay. This person is asking, what's the difference between a dietitian and a nutritionist? It's a really good question. So a dietitian and nutritionist have very different scope of practice depending on where you live. In some states, you can practice nutrition with 1 nutrition class. In other states, you must have a master's degree and a license in nutrition in order to call yourself a nutrition expert. George and I are not experts on each individual state or country laws of nutrition, so we definitely recommend going to the ANA website. ANA stands for American Nutrition Association. They have a tab that's called Advocate. Click on that and you'll be able to find all the information you need for your state. But a dietitian and a nutritionist have different scope of practice and different things that they're allowed to do and different titles they're allowed to use. So I definitely recommend checking out the ANA, the American Nutrition Association website, to get some more information about the differences. I also have a really nifty table that lists the difference between CNS, CCN, and RD, so clinical certified nutritionist, certified clinical nutritionist, and then a registered dietitian. If you want that table, go ahead and email me or Georgia, because we have a nice little PDF document that kind of lists the differences there. That might be really helpful to you. This person asks, if I have a bachelor's and a master's in nutrition, after the doctorate, would I be able to take the test and become an RD? No. To become an RD, you must have a bachelor's degree in dietetics, do a dietetic internship. and then do a master's degree in nutrition or dietetics. So unfortunately, you would still have to go back and redo your bachelor's degree, as far as I'm concerned, to become a dietitian. Okay, this person says, I do not have biochem. What are the other UWS options? So we offer biochemistry in our degree if you already have general chemistry. That's the only catch. If you take biochemistry with UWS, I guess the only other catch or difference is you will have to sacrifice one of your 2 elective options. So if you take biochem with UWS, you will not have the option of taking 2 electives. You only have the option of taking 1, because your other elective will be the biochemistry class. So I would recommend taking biochemistry ahead of time with Portage Learning. I think Cal Campus, US San Diego. There's several that I listed on an earlier slide that are really helpful. I would definitely check out some of those if you're interested in taking biochemistry ahead of time. The UWS option is concurrent with the start of your degree, but you must have Gen Chem ahead of time. Okay, is it possible to chat with a couple of alumni from Europe? That's a great question. And hi, Trevor. I remember we talked recently. I was able to find a couple alumni for you who are in Europe. And if you need more, I'm happy to connect with you with a couple other people. Our alumni services found 2 people in Europe. One had a viable email and one did not. So I was not able to send you my second person, but we have had a few graduates in Europe, and I've sent you who I have. If you need more info, email me back and I'll be able to kind of get you some more information. And it's lovely to see a familiar name. So hi, Trevor, shout out. Can one get a degree in functional medicine solely without human nutrition? Not at our school. And as far as I'm concerned, there's no master's programs in functional medicine out there. We're the only accredited master's degree that includes nutrition and functional medicine all in one degree. There are different certificates in functional medicine. The Institute for Functional Medicine is a great place to start, but I believe they require you to have a degree in healthcare in order to take their classes. You can definitely double check with the IFM. I am not the IFM expert. I'm just the UWS expert. But there are, as far as I know, there's no master's degree in functional medicine alone. But functional medicine is woven throughout all of our coursework in the master's degree in nutrition and functional medicine. So it's a really great place to be. If you want our catalog, you can find it online or you can email me in Georgia and we can send that to you directly so you can read up the course descriptions and look at all the functional medicine that's included in our degree. Okay, this question says, some of the credits that applied toward my BS in health sciences came from a health coach training program at the IIN. Are these credits, sorry, it's moving. Are these credits accepted for the nutrition prerequisite? If you have an IIN certificate, yes, we can accept the IIN certificate to satisfy the nutrition prerequisite. That's a great question. If that's not the answer to your question, I can send another one and I can elaborate more, but we do accept the IIN certificate to satisfy the nutrition prerequisite. So I do have biotechnology and biosciences. How many classes do I still need? The best way to find out what classes that you need is to email me or Georgia your transcript. We'll be able to look for if you've completed a bachelor's, and we'll also be able to look and see if you've completed the science prerequisites. There's 5 of them: biology, biochemistry, nutrition, medical terminology, and physiology. So if you haven't completed those, make sure you do. And me and Georgia are happy to take a look at your transcripts to get that one. This person says, when's the next start date and what apparatus do we use? Great question. The next start date is April 10th, as we talked about just a few slides ago. Applications are due February 10th for the April date. And we do use Canvas. So if you're familiar with Canvas learning platform, that's what we're using in our master's degree program, which is really great. Let's see here. If I completed an internship and have a bachelor's in dietetics, can I use the master's in HNFM to get my RD? I believe the answer to that is yes. So if you've already completed your bachelor's, you already have a dietetic degree, you already have your RD license, and now you need to get a master's on top of it. The answer to that is yes. So we do have several dietitians who are in the program who are now completing their master's degree to meet that new requirement. And as far as I know, yes, that does work. Is the biochemistry course essential for RDs who have clinical experience? Yes. If you must have biochemistry to start the program. So if you never took biochemistry in your RD or in your dietetic degree, you will need to take it separately before coming into UWS, or take it concurrently if you have Gen Chem. Even if you have wonderful clinical experience, we love to see that, but we must see a formal course in biochemistry. And I know sometimes students say that's tedious to have these prerequisites, but it's there to support you and for your academic success through our program and your success as a clinician when you finish our program. A deep understanding of nutritional biochemistry is crucial for success as a nutrition specialist and a functional medicine practitioner. How are you graded in the master's degree? Great question. For both the master's certificate and doctorate degree, we grade on an A through F scale. So that's an easy question. You do get actual letter grades. This person said, I've gotten into the Nutritious Life Studio Nutrition Certificate. Oh, I'm sorry, it moved on me. Through my personal training program. Would either of these count toward the nutrition prereq? I may need you to send me those. I have a list of approved nutrition certificates that have been approved by our program directors, like the IIN, the NTA. Some of those licenses have already been approved. I don't recall Life Studio Nutrition. So if you can send me or Georgia the information about that certificate, we will ask our program directors if that one can be approved. If it is approved, then it can satisfy the nutrition prerequisite. If not, you'll have to still take a formal nutrition class. That's a great question. Go ahead and send that to us. Let's see. Is this program totally online? Yes, we covered that earlier. All the degrees are 100% online. Lectures are pre-recorded and uploaded at the beginning of each week, so you don't need to tap into any live lectures. And that makes it really ideal for working professionals, for people in different time zones, other side of the world, and then parents. Anyone who's a parent knows that sometimes it's hard to just drop what you're doing and go to class. So we pre-record everything for you. This person says, I don't have medical terminology. What option do I have? Straighter Line and Portage Learning are great online options for medical terminology. If you're working in a medical field, like you're a nurse, but you never took a class called medical terminology, we can waive that for you. We know that you're very proficient in medical terms, working as a nurse or a different type of healthcare provider. So you can either send us a resume and show what you're doing in the medical field to waive medical terminology, or you can take the class online, and I recommend Straighter Line or Portage Learning because they are the most affordable online options. This person is asking about the master's degree, what kind of degree, how many terms and semesters, how much is the cost? I recommend going back through the webinar after it's recorded because we covered the total cost of tuition, we covered the total length of the degree, the terms and everything. So all of that's been recorded in today's webinar, and you will get a link to that. You can also find that on our website. It's 2 years full-time, 5 years part-time, and we did talk about finances and talk about the exact cost of each degree on one of our previous slides. So I recommend going back and watching this later or looking that up online. Same with the certificate price. I would recommend going back and looking at this again. Total master's degree is about $30,000 at this time, and then the certificate's about $16,000 dollars. Are the grades in the program based solely on results of final exams? Is there other coursework? Great question. You're going to be graded on multiple assignments. Although your final exams and midterms will hold the breadth of the grade for the whole class, you will be graded on other assignments as well, which is always nice to have that little bit of extra cushion. I did list the prerequisites earlier, so if you missed that, go ahead and go back either on our website or on the webinar and take a look at all of those prerequisites, because we talked about accreditation info and we talked about prerequisites and length and pricing and all those good things. So, okay, so here's one more question. The best answers for questions on how to become a registered dietitian or as a nutrition dietetic registered can be answered on the Academy of Nutrition Dietetics. Thank you so much. So check out the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Thank you for that. That is definitely the best website to check out for pathways to become a dietitian. This degree does not allow you to become a dietitian, so we don't have resources on that. But if you are somebody who's looking specifically into dietetics, check out that website, Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. So thank you for putting that in there. Okay, I do believe that's all of our questions. Thank you all again so much for coming today. We so appreciate you being here. If you have any additional questions, again, feel free to email me or Georgia. Our information was in the webinar earlier today, as well as online. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for coming.